Hello friends. So today we are going to start our discussion on the subject Indian economy, and in unit 1 we have to study about economy and colonialism. Right? So in the first part we will be discussing economy. We will be having a look at a definition, and then we will also be talking about the circular flow of money in an economy. Right? So what basically is an economy? System of making and trading things of value. So in economy what happens is people make and then exchange with each other, exchange with others, trade with others, things of value. Let me give an example. Earlier, when we didn't have any currency or when we didn't have any coins, what people used to do was, for example, if there is a cobbler, he will prepare a shoe, and if there is a ironsmith, he will prepare an iron implement, right? And now if the cobbler requires iron implement so that he can design the shoe, he will buy it from the ironsmith. On the other hand, when the ironsmith wants a new boot, new pair of shoes, he will go to the cobbler, and this way they will make those things which are of value to the other party, and then they would exchange those things with the other party. The ironsmith makes iron implements, iron tools, and then he trades it with the cobbler. Cobbler makes shoes and then he trades it with the ironsmith, and in return what does he get? He gets iron implements. What does the ironsmith gets in return? When he sells his iron implement, he gets a pair of shoes. Is that fine? So this kind of system, when there was no use of currency, was known as the barter system, wherein you trade things of value without making use of money or currency. But with the advent of currency, the whole process became more efficient, and there was no requirement of bartering things. And instead what happened, people started purchasing those items which are of value to them, and in return they would pay in cash, or they would pay using the currency of that particular period. Is that fine? So this happened after the advent of currency. Okay, so as I said, economy is a system of making and trading things of value. So we are making those things which are of value to the other, and we are also trading those things which are of value to the other, and we are buying those things from others which we do not have, but we value them, so we are buying it from others. We are selling those things which the other values, and we have a lot of them, so we'll sell some of those items to the other party. This actually is the basic process that is taking place in economy. Area of production, distribution and trade, as well as consumption of goods and services by different agents. Another definition of economy says that it's an area of production where things are produced and when they are distributed. I hope you have read in marketing management what distribution is. For example, Colgate Palmolive, so they come up with the Colgate toothpaste, right? So it might be produced in some factory, maybe down south or maybe in some other part of the country. But if it is required by customers in Uttarakhand, they will distribute it to customers in Uttarakhand by creating a distribution network. So they will sell it to some wholesaler, who will then sell it to some retailer, and then the retailer would sell it to some sub-retailer, and the sub-retailer would sell it to us, right? So not only production is taking place, but distribution is also taking place. And trade means you are giving away something, some item, and in return you are getting paid for it. Fine. So that trade is also taking place. So it is that area where production, distribution and trade is taking place. Not only this is basically production, distribution and trade is basically at the manufacturer's end. But at the end of the customer, you would also find that consumption is also taking place. So he is not just buying the toothbrush or the toothpaste from Colgate Palmolive or the Colgate brand of toothpaste. He is also consuming it in the sense he is using it, maybe for his own purpose or maybe for his family, right? Fine. And this was the case with not only goods but also services. Now what do we mean? What is the difference between a good and a service? Please understand, what is a good? The toothpaste that you have brought is a good, but what is a service? The education service that I am delivering to you right now through this lecture is an example of a service. When you go to a doctor, he provides you some prescription and he diagnoses you, he asks you questions and tells you what particular ailment is causing problem to you. So that is again an example of a service. Fine. Or you go to school, education service, or you maybe watch TV at your home, entertainment service, or you go to a park, so recreation service. So there are different types of services. So we are not only talking about goods, but in economy, services are also produced, distributed and exchanged and traded. Let me give you an example. For example, if you go to a beautician for pedicure or manicure, you are actually doing what? You are consuming a service. Fine. And the person who is providing you this particular facility, the owner of that particular shop, is basically the producer of service. Is that fine? Clear? So we are not only talking about goods, but we are also talking about services. And this production, distribution and trade as well as consumption is done by different agents. So there are different agents who engage in production or who engage in consumption. For example, generally many a times production is done by business firms while consumption is done by the customer, but many a times it's the exact opposite also. Fine. So there are different agents involved who engage in production or distribution and who engage in consumption of goods and services. Then let's talk about what these economic agents are: individual, firms and governments. As a customer, when you buy, you go to a barber for getting your hairs cut, or when you go to a cobbler to get your shoes mended, or when you buy a soap or a biscuit or a chocolate for your girlfriend or your boyfriend, then in that case you are an economic agent who is engaging in consumption. You are an individual. Again, it could so happen that a firm is there in the market which produces toothpaste and then they distribute it to the end customer. So that is a firm which is an economic agent. Many a times governments also either produce, distribute services, either produce or distribute services, or they do both. For example, the protection from the police that you need and that is provided to you, the law and order services that are provided to you by the police department is an example of a government service. And in this case, the agent is the government, right? Just a little while ago I said many a times the firms can also be customers while individuals can also be producers. I give you example of micro enterprises, right? In micro enterprises, very small value items are produced by maybe one individual or maybe a group of individual or maybe by the whole family, and then they sell this item, for example, to a manufacturing firm or to a production firm. Let me give you an example of apples. So there are people here in Pithoragarh who grow apples, and once they've grown the apples, so they are the producers. What do? They actually sell these apples to some other companies which use these apples to produce juice or to produce jams. So in this case, this particular individual, the family who is engaging in agriculture, who is engaging in horticulture and producing apples, is the producer, while the consumer is the manufacturing firm like Nestle or maybe like Kisan, who are using these apples to produce jams, and then they are selling these jams under their brand name to the end customers. Fine. So many a times the individuals can also be producer while firms can also be the consumers. Right. Now let's talk about the circular flow of money in economy. I'm not going to take much time discussing the main reason being that you have already studied this in macroeconomics, if I'm not wrong, in Unit 1. So you already know about this circular flow of income. So I'm going to touch upon in very brief. Right? Now let us understand what we mean by this circular flow of money in economy. Circular flow of money in economy means the money keeps moving from one entity to the other in an economy. Now have a look at the household sector. Now what do we mean by the household sector? The retail customers, people like us, our families, our friends. So that is what we mean by the household sector. What do we mean by the producing sector? Business house, manufacturing firms, Service industries, for example, Honda, which is producing bikes or cars, or for that matter PVR, which is providing entertainment services, right? Or Sony, which is providing entertainment service. These are production sectors, producing sectors. Fine. And how does the money flow from one of these entities to the other? Right? Now please understand. The production sector produces something which is bought by the household sector. Right? Sorry. The production sector produces something which is brought by the household sector. For example, they are producing bikes and it is being brought by the household sector. Fine. Now what is happening basically is they are consuming this bike, they are making use of this bike. For them it is the consumption expenditure on goods. In case of bike it is goods. For example, if they are getting their hair cut, then it is an example of a service. So it is being consumed by the household sector. Right? In return, what do they pay? What do they give? They give money. Whatever is the value of the product, they provide to the other party in terms of money. Is that fine? Now have a look at this particular portion, the left portion. But who works in these producing sectors? We have talked about Honda. Who works in these factories? There are so many people who work in these factories, right? These factories are erected on a leased land many a times, a land which does not belong to Honda, but it has actually been leased from some other landowner. Fine. What does this mean? The Honda owner has basically kiraye pe le liya hai land so that they can erect their building, erect their factory and produce Honda cars. Many a times this may happen. Now in such cases, if you have bought the land, if Honda has bought the land on lease, they will certainly be providing what? They would be providing rent to the owner of the land from whom they have leased the land. And now this rent is basically paid in form of money to the household sector, because this owner of the land would be somebody from the household sector only. Is that fine? Likewise, if somebody is working in Honda as workshop supervisor, then he has to be paid wages, right, or salaries. And basically this is a payment to the household sector only, because this person belongs to the household. He has a family, he is an individual who consumes so many things, but he is also offering his labor against whom he is getting paid by Honda. So in such cases, the money is flowing from the production sector to the household sector. We have seen earlier that the money also flew from the household sector to the production sector. So there's a circular flow of money. One entity is giving money, the other entity is receiving. The other entity then goes on to give that money to some third entity, the third entity receives. So this way there's a circular flow of money in the economy. Let me tell you about interest and profit. What happens if Honda makes a lot of profit? Would they not like to give away some bonus to their employees? If they give their employees some bonus, what will happen? These employees basically belong to the household sector. So basically it's a payment to the household sector. Is that okay? What about interest? Now there's an indirect linkage in case of interest. Please understand, production sector, Honda is a firm and let's say they need 20 crore rupees so that they can run their business. Fine. Now please understand that these figures are hypothetical and do not correspond to reality. But supposing Honda requires 2000 crore of money. But where are they going to get this money from? Where are they going to get this finance from? Where are they going to get this loan sanctioned from? They're going to go to a bank. And the bank will provide them this loan. But where does the money come in the bank? How does bank have so much money? Because they are taking deposits from normal customers from the household sector. Is that fine? So ultimately they have a lot of money which they further would loan to these companies in the producing sector. Is that fine? Now in such case what will happen? Please understand. In this case, the production sector, which means the Honda firm, the example that we have taken up, they would have to not only repay the loan, but they would also have to repay interest on that particular loan. So they would be paying this interest to the bank, and bank would provide a little bit of money to you, and they won't call it an interest payment to you, but what they would call is, they would say that this is interest on your deposit. So whatever you have deposited, they are giving you some interest on that. And this way the circular money, the flow of money would become circular in an economy. Is that fine? So try to go through this video again and again if you have not been able to understand right away. And though you can also refer to your notes in macroeconomics. Thank you very much for your time.